Good morning, and welcome back to Doing It Live with Doomling. We are here in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, 3D version, and I think we've just about finished all of our little preliminary tasks before we take on the next dungeon. What I was trying to do was collect as many heart pieces and as many sculptures as I could immediately recall were worth getting. That's only half true. I was using a guide for the gold sculptures, and then all the other stuff I was just sort of remembering as I was approaching places like the Gerudo Valley and Lake Hylium. We did play some music to some scarecrows, but I can't remember the song. It wasn't very good. Spoiler warning. What we're going to do now is make our way to Kakariko Village, and then adjacent to Kakariko Village, of course, is the entrance to Death Mountain, specifically the Death Mountain Trail. I was told by Takashi in the chat that Kaepora Gaebora is in fact Roru. I mean, I suppose Roru's head, being oddly shaped, is reminiscent of Kaepora Gaebora's head, but, minus the big owl eyebrows. But I feel like I really need to check this now. This is beginning to bother me. Is Kaepora Gaebora Roru? Is he really Roru? Our true Zelda? Okay. What? Here we go. Zelda.fandom. Do I really want that page? Okay, let's use that page. Wait, no, Zelda Dungeon seems to have an answer. Zelda Dungeon forums. Here we go. Kaepora Gaebora and the ever so confusing timeline. Hold on. It is less of a theory and more of a fact, given that it's literally confirmed by Hyrule Historia. Okay. Well, if I ever did know that, I forgot. And to be completely honest with you, I don't think I was missing out. If you were possibly able to calculate the number of years that I lived not knowing that Kaepora Gaebora was in fact Roru, I don't think those years would have been years where I, laboured any... I didn't labour under any sort of disadvantage, or, I wasn't lacking in some sort of higher knowledge. I mean, quite frankly, the less I know about that owl, the better. The happier I'm going to be. That's what I would say. You don't think they talk the same? Well, maybe when you turn into a bird, you'll also start talking different. Ever thought of it that way? But yeah, I can sort of see the resemblance, weirdly enough. As for why he turns into an owl, well, I suppose I'll just have to check the lore, huh? It's good stuff, the Zelda lore. Owl is in fact random old guy. You think he's also random old guy named Roru in the other games that he appears in? He doesn't only appear in this game. Although I think this was his first game, wasn't it? That I'm not sure. I suspect that if your balls shrink, it's not going to be a case of you choosing to talk differently. Or as you describe it, feeling like talking differently. I really do struggle to walk in a straight line in this game. I've said it before, and I suppose I'll just have to keep saying it. Alright, we have not opened the way yet, but that's not difficult to do at all. The road is closed beyond this point. Can't you read the sign over there? Huh? Oh, I see. You're just a kid and you can't read yet. Ha ha ha! Well, I suppose it's not that unusual for children even of his age. So, for instance, if he's 10, I suppose it's not unusual in the past for 10-year-old children to be thoroughly illiterate. But anyway, Death Mountain, no passage without a royal decree. Ooh. It just so happens that I have one. Oh, this is surely Princess Zelda's handwriting. It's barely legible. Well, let's see. Okay, I've got no idea what she said. This is Link. He is under my orders to save Hyrule. What kind of funny game has our princess come up with now? Okay, all right, he says, while gasping to recover his breath. You can go now. Just be careful, Mr. Hero. He has absolutely no reservations about sending a child to his death because, I don't know, kid's game. He obviously thinks it's just a game, but he's more than happy for us to die as a result. Yeah, I'm good to go. He sort of gets a bit more real and is less of a dick quite suddenly. Have you been to the Happy Mask Shop? Oh, let's just, gently glide into fucking small talk. I mean, this guy... When did you become so wordy? Honestly, you don't even have eyes. Anyway. Up we go. Death Mountain Trail. I'm really struggling to hit this tech time. I could be wrong, but it feels as if the sword has a little bit less reach in the 3D version. 3DS version, I should say. It's not like this game was originally 2D. So I have to be careful to say 3DS version, not 3D version. It is technically correct to say 3D version because, Ocarina of Time versus Ocarina of Time 3D. Those are the names of the games, but... yeah. Of course, they were talking about a different sort of 3D. When they were writing that, so... Now, there is a soft soil location a little further along, but... well, we can't access it now. And I don't believe it's for gold sculptures. Should just be for the magic bean. Now, there is a fairy fountain further up, but I don't know if we would benefit from going there now. In fact, can we even access it? Or does it require a bomb? I do not remember. Even if I can access it now, choosing not to go there at this stage is not going to be the end of the world. I'll just go there after the dungeon. This is the Goron City theme, performed by a walrus. Getting, aggressively spanked by some sort of environmentalist. This is the law that you came here to be apprised of. Not whatever was going on about K-Pora, Gaybora, and Roru. That's really boring stuff. And what you want is to know that that weird sound like that, that weird shit, that's actually a walrus getting spanked. So, consider yourself better informed. I'm so hungry that I don't know what an Octorok is, but I can't think about anything, whatever he was saying, I don't know. That was an attempt at making a joke, and then I figuratively fell flat on my face. Deku sticks? Oh yeah, there are Deku stick upgrades that you can get in this game, but I almost never bother to get them. I suppose if I'm not going to get 100 gold Skulltula tokens, I don't really need to worry about getting all of the upgrades. Particularly not the ones that I would never use. What's happening with you? If I'm not mistaken, you came here to eat the red stone too. You are so mistaken that words almost fail. Well, too bad it's not here. I was so hungry that I thought I would be okay to just give it one tiny little lick. So I sneaked up there, but it was already gone. I think Big Brother took it away. Yeah, because his brethren want to eat it. It's rather sacred. At least as far as I'm aware. How do I play Zelda's Lullaby again? No, it definitely doesn't start with that. Hold on. I keep forgetting that I can and get an immediate hint. And by hint, I mean actually be told what it is. There you are. Tron, loud and proud in the chat, saying that he has a walrus kink. Alright, let's speak to Darunia. He just naturally stands like that. His arms are so disproportionately large because of how strong he is, that is his resting state. That's just how he stands. What the heck? Who are you? Also, I haven't even lowered my head to look at you because I'm so stiff. When I heard the song of the royal family, I expected their messenger had arrived, but you're just a little kid. Has Darunia, the big boss of the Gorons, really lost so much status to be treated like this by his sworn brother, the king? No. We never meet the king. For all we know, he's rather thin in this game. I've got no idea. Now I'm really angry. Get out of my face. I'm so glad that we learnt Saria's song before coming here, because I just remembered, just now, that we actually require it. How funny is that? Are you asking why I'm in such a bad mood right now? Ancient creatures have infested Dodongo's cavern. We've had a poor harvest of our special crop, bomb flowers. Starvation and hunger because of the rock shortage. How could you possibly have a rock shortage? You live on a mountain. Stop being picky. It's a bit like, you know, a society of people deciding they don't want to eat rice or bread because they're used to eating caviar. I mean, just come on. This is a Goron problem. We don't need help from strangers. All right. I don't know why I used caviar as an example, but anyway. Caviar tends not to fill your stomach. You'd usually combine it with something else. Anyway, Saria's song. Take that. Yeah, I agree. What the fuck is an X and a Y? I completely agree. It is confusing, and I am struggling to play them. Oh my god. And here is the updated version of the Darunia dance. They've managed to make it look even more ridiculous. Yep. Oh. Oh. Come on. I'm not going to continue reading this out. It's a hot beat, guys. I've got this distinct feeling that he's never heard music before. I can see why living a whole life never having heard music, and then suddenly being exposed to it might give you an extreme reaction, but... well, hey, what a nice tune. Just like that, my depression is all gone. Something just came over me. I suddenly wanted to dance like crazy. I'm Darunia. I'm the big boss of the Gorons. Was there something you wanted to ask me about? What? You want the spiritual stone of fire too? Yes, but I want it for a worthy purpose. These other people want to eat it. The spiritual stone of fire, also known as the Goron's ruby, is our race's hidden treasure, which your race want to eat, instead of, you know, taking a bite out of the mountain. But hold on, I'm not going to give it to you that easily. If you want it so badly, why don't you go destroy the monsters inside of Dodongo's cavern and prove you're a real man? We don't need to start talking about whether I'm a real man or not. That's just getting personal. By the way, I'm 10. That way, everybody will be happy again. If you do it, I will give you anything you want, even the spiritual stone. I have something for you. I'm not really giving you this in return for anything, but take it anyway. Even though you played a song and made me feel happy for the first time in like a year. If you wear this, even a little fella like you can pick up a bomb flower using A. Thank God for that. Wouldn't want to be pressing B or R. I can do it with A. That's what happens when you're forced to listen to walrus abuse 24/7. Yeah, you start flailing around like you've got a severe physical abnormality. Alright. So these can never really be picked up because they're on the wall, right? And I don't believe that you can actually shoot them like so. I suspect that what you need to do is either use another bomb to set them off, or use a boomerang or an arrow, I don't know. It's never really been of much interest to me, those particular bombs. It gives you access to the shop, but you don't need to go in there. It's really not needed. So now that we've actually got bombs, if you'll remember, when we first arrived in the Death Mountain Trail, we got only a short way through, and then discovered that there was a very large rock blocking a cave. Well, with bombs on hand, we can now access it. And indeed, it will take us to dungeon number 2. So, here's the question of the day. Should I go there now, or should I go to the fairy fountain? So the fairy fountain in Death Mountain is not all that important. What it actually is... Hold on. Let me go and get bombs equipped. 1 second. What the fairy fountain in Death Mountain actually does is... Oh, wait, no, I do not have bombs on hand. I'm being really stupid. I can pick up bomb flowers now, but I do not actually have bombs. I don't know how I managed to confuse myself with that. So I probably can't access that after all. What I can, however, do... Hold on, this is becoming increasingly ridiculous as I demonstrate a complete lack of remembering how to do this. We want to go this way, lift a bomb flower, and drop it. Oh, fucking hell. I almost can't believe that that managed to hit it. As for lighting the bombs with a lit Deku stick, that I had forgotten. I didn't know that you could do that. It makes a lot of sense, but... yeah, was not aware. Alright. I don't need to go to the shop, though. I have what I need. So we're coming up to a dungeon that has fire in it. So what we're going to do is equip the Hylian shield, because we don't want our Deku shield to burn. Now, this is not going to function in the same way as the Deku shield, as I explained in a previous part. But at the very least, we want to avoid the Deku shield being burnt. And if we get hit with fire, even with the Deku shield on our back, I believe the Deku shield will still burn and be destroyed. So, in the interest of avoiding that, we've got this stupid thing on. Now, the Hylian shield is not stupid. What's stupid is the fact that it's so much bigger than we are. So, yeah, it looks a little better in this version of the game, I have to admit. It looks like there are many lava pits around here, so watch your step. Yes, ma'am. I'm not going to continue too far through here, because I don't have too much time available. But I will get started with the dungeon. And it shouldn't be too difficult for me to return to where I left off once I get back. Goodbye. And get another bomb flower. Not too far, just beat the dungeon, yeah. Oh, give me a sec, hold on. I'll just beat the dungeon right now. Should have some Dynaflows in here. They look very harmless. Look how cute they look. Adorable little things. Oh my god. If I could possibly bring one to that wall, that would be nice. I don't think you can, though. I think they burrow back into the ground before they... Oh no, that should break the wall. Here we go. Very good. I used to struggle a bit with that. In the original version, they would tend to burrow before they got to that. But sure, let's see what's inside. I think we've got a gold sculpture in here, in fact. I'm almost certain that this required a bomb in the original. I could be wrong. I'm almost certainly wrong, in fact. But that's alright. Hold on. Trying to get that... Oh, almost upskirted Link there. That was quite stimulating. Right, one more case. Come on. Very good. Well, look. I'm not sure why Link's wearing a skirt, but if he's got a problem with it, he should stop wearing one. Do any of these come alive? I'm just making sure. Hope I haven't gone too far. Do you think that will still go on the Switch? It will. Good news. It's a boy skirt? Yeah. There is such a thing. There is certainly such a thing. And don't walk up to a sportsman and tell him he's wearing a skirt. He'll sock you in your face. Oh, here we go. Is it worth chasing him? Probably not. Oh no, it is worth it, because the other one's just not here for some reason. That was a good example of a jump attack in midair. Am I correct in suggesting that the tracking is actually worse in the 3DS version when you're targeting an enemy? It felt worse. Felt like it was not keeping track as well as it should have been. Anyway. Even though this does feel like a mini-boss, by the way, this is not a mini-boss. You could potentially argue that it is, but you don't get a dungeon item by killing these guys. You will, however, get it on the second round. Like, there are 2 confrontations with these... what are they called again? Something to do with Dino. Anyway. Something's... A Lizalfos. They're called Lizalfos. Silly me. Well, still, I guess, a related species. I believe that's where I came from, by the way, so I'm going to head this way. This should be a new direction. Takashi said Lizalfos in the chat, but I did remember it on my own. And Tron is speaking in Spanish in the chat. Very good. Any others? Any other Spanish words? No. Clearly, by the way, I was going the right way the first time. It's just a little bit confusing because I don't have the compass at the moment. So, not completely clear where I'm going. He did it. He pulled out another Spanish word, everyone. He managed it. Very nicely done. Okay. So yeah, best way to deal with the Dodongos, which this is, by the way. Whoa! He did a 360. I don't think I've ever seen a Dodongo do a 360. Do a barrel roll. Or indeed, just do a 360. I don't know what he achieved in so doing, but it was definitely acrobatic. What are you doing? Wake up, mate. What the hell is this? Why do they spin so much? I'm sorry, I find this really off-putting. So what they would normally do, right, is you would go to the tail, swing at it, and then it would do a spin. It would not be a 360 to then look at you. It would be, or, you know, even if it's more than 360, they would not do a full revolution, okay? They would turn to face you, and in doing that, there was a big tail whipping effect. But now, apparently, instead of turning to look at you, they just do a big spin on the spot and then end up not looking at you anyway. Maybe it was deemed too difficult for them to turn and look at you in the 3DS version. I mean, there's no other explanation, is there? That must have been determined to be too difficult for children. The question I would ask is that, do we really want to... what's going on with you? Are you okay, mate? Now, what I was going to say was, do we really want to put our children down? Do we really want them to be unable to deal with basic adversity that they face in video games? Do we want that for our future generations? Children who cannot even complete a video game! If they cannot complete a video game, how could they expect to be functioning in society? And the reason why I ask this question is because surely Dodongos were not so fucking crushingly difficult to kill that they require modernization. But that's just me. Come on. Sorry, it can be very difficult to actually change the item that's selected on a particular button. Alright, onward. I think it's just these ones. Weirdly, every time I light these torches, I always think that there are more. But no, it's not true. Not true at all. Alright. Step on the button. And... well, how far are we in? I haven't really kept track of how long this VOD part has gone on for. I'm going to hope it's at least 25 minutes. But I feel that this is a good spot to stop because basically I've done the loop. I'm back in the main room, and that door is now open to us. So I'm going to finish up here. The live stream will come to an end now. I do thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time I'm recording Zelda Ocarina of Time. I might do Tears of the Kingdom for my next recording session, although I don't know. We'll see how we go. I've got mixed feelings about that game. And indeed, the YouTube algorithm has mixed feelings about my recordings of that game as well, for reasons that are completely inexplicable. But I thank you all for watching once again, and I'll see you next time I'm recording Zelda, or anything else that I happen to be recording that you would like to watch. Bye-bye for now.